What up, YouTube? I'm Derek Peterson. This is Craig Smith. We're with Hail Varsity. We're obviously inside Memorial Stadium. Friday Night Lights just wrapped up for the second time. When was the first one? 2 weeks
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago?
June 4th.
Lots of talent out here tonight. Dominic Raiola's kid was out here slinging it around. We'll talk about him in a second. So Craig's got some thoughts. But first, I just wanted to ask you, just for anybody that maybe hasn't read about Friday Night Lights before, hasn't been to one of these camps, it's open to the public. What is the benefit of this? Like, what is this, and what is the benefit of this for Nebraska?
Yeah, it's basically an evaluation camp and a chance for kids to get better that are going to their next high school season. So there's two different real tracks that I guess that you could probably put this on. So you have kids that are looking for scholarship offers, right, and that are trying to play college football. And then you have and those kids are a little bit older, and then you have younger kids who are just looking to get coached up by Nebraska's coaching staff, right? So you look out there and you see Barrett Ruud coaching inside linebackers. That's pretty valuable instruction for a kid if you're a ninth grader looking to just get better and pick up a couple of tips. And so there's many different reasons why Friday Night Lights end up being a benefit, because not only then if Nebraska has those kids that are maybe on the borderline of offers or could be potential walk-on players, but then also you can work with them. Then you can also get those younger guys where you start to work with them even earlier, and it just becomes like a little bit of a domino effect as you go along through the process.
There are scholarship offers that come out of this thing, right?
Oh yeah, usually there's one or two that come out of this, because you're always going to have guys that impress, especially coming out of this year where it's been so long since coaches have been able to evaluate kids in person or see them, and so they're in high school, they grow, right? And so that's happened, and so you'll definitely have some surprises out of that as well. So I definitely would expect there to be an offer or two that come out of this event.
What do you think of the overall talent level of the kids that were out here?
It was a pretty good camp. I think this one and the last camp were both very good. It's tough because you're competing. One of the things that we know about this year is that there's so many camps and kids want to go out and be seen. There's a lot of competition where guys can go, but I thought Nebraska had a pretty good showing of talent out here.
There are going to be fewer spots too, right? Just because of what has kind of gone on with eligibility. Do you expect Nebraska to take same size class, smaller class?
Yeah, it'll be a smaller class. I think you're looking, 14 all the way up to say 25, 28. It depends. It will be closer to the 14 number though. Nebraska still hasn't, the other schools haven't either, gotten guidance from the NCAA on what's going to happen with scholarship numbers, but everyone assumes that it'll go back to normal for 2022. So you're going to have to bring in a smaller class.
So stuff like this, Scott Frost was out here. He talked to the campers afterwards. He was kind of talking people up, coaching people up individually after drills, things like that. You've got Mario Verduzco was out here. Position coaches were out here. This is big time. This is Sunday afternoon performance time for some of these guys.
Yeah, for some of these guys that have it, and especially you think about it, they went a whole year without getting to have any of this type of evaluation. It's big time for a lot of guys, whether or not they wanted to get on the radar for those precious few scholarship opportunities, or even it's going to be few walk-on opportunities as well. Don't forget that. That's going to be smaller as a result as well of what's been happening with eligibility. So you're feeling the squeeze on both ends with that.
A couple guys, we'll wrap this up. A couple guys that were out here, a few guys that were out here that had name recognition, that had face recognition, that were out here maybe talking to some coaches hoping for a commitment, things like that. What are some of the big names people should know who were just here at this camp?
Yeah, so I think there's a couple of things. So one, you had your official visitors out here. I think all 4 official visitors we saw that were scheduled to be in here. So Jake Applegate, Ernest Hausman, Nathan Bale, James Moss III, they were all out here, and you get to see what it's like with those guys to be shown around. You definitely see the coaches making their way around to them. But then they did not work out per NCAA rules. They can't go out and work out. I get asked that all the time. And then Dylan Raiola was out here, who was a 2024, which feels like a long time, but it will come quickly. I joked to you earlier, he's a super legacy player. Dominic Raiola's son was out here at quarterback. He does not have an offer from Nebraska yet, but I suspect that one will come fairly soon. As just a week or so ago, he picked one up for TCU after being at their camp.
And it wouldn't just be because he is a legacy kid. I mean, we watched him throw the ball around. He's got a pretty good arm.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good arm, especially for such a young player. You could definitely see where he's got a little bit of polish to his game. I thought he was pretty impressive, keeping in mind that he's a 2024 kid. So he's going into his sophomore year of high school.
I guess. I don't want to think about that. That makes me feel old.
Yeah.
And I'm not very old. Plenty more from this guy on HailVarsity.com. Lots of young players on the roster showing guys around. So maybe that's a story that you can look for from this guy on HailVarsity.com. Subscribe to the YouTube page or wherever you're watching this, and keep reading. Thanks, guys.